Okay, so this is another little part from the last word. I had made the word and put it out, and then I started to start up dinner. And then the Lord said, I have one more part for you to add to the last message. So I'm making a part two. So I just put out a word. It should be uploading now saying, I think the title is You're a Beautiful Child of God. So I'm going to title this one as like You're a Beautiful Child of God part two. So this is an extra little piece that was supposed to go in the last word. But yeah, so the Lord is also saying that I talk in that word about how there's people from your past that were in your past, right? Before you were healed and saved, that had issue with you, and it was to do with their own, their selves, right? Themselves, their own unhealed problems. And again, I reiterate that they can have healing for those unhealed problems and traumas if they too go to the Lord like you have, right? And so anyways, aside from that, the Lord was saying, he reminded me of a word that I had put out a couple weeks ago titled, You're the main character. Don't let them make you think otherwise. And so the Lord reminded me of that word and was saying that the last message and this message were kind of branch offs of that, more revelation and confirmation. And so what he just said to me now during dinners, he said that they were mad at me, aka you, because this is for me, but also for whoever comes across this. They're mad at me and they're mad at you because from their point of view, in the past, in your younger years, whether these be ex-partners, ex-friends, ex-associates, whatever, but the Lord is confirming even family members. These are people from your past, in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, say. The Lord is saying that right now in the present timing, they're mad, right? Because they feel, and again, you have to listen to part one for this part two to make sense, by the way. They feel like you were the main character back then, and they purposely put you through stuff. They purposely backstabbed you, betrayed you, lied on you, gossiped you, turned on you, etc., abused you, because they were mad and jealous that, like the part one says, the friendships, they were mad at you, in my case females, and for men, males, they were in friendships, they were mad at you because of their jealousy, because you were you as a main character all the way back then, even though you were unhealed and not close with the Lord. You were like the apple that didn't have the mold on it to the degree they had it. And also you were like pizza, so you were attracting interest. And they noticed that and they were jealous of that and jealous of you back then. So they were attracted to you in the first place because of you being like pizza. And you didn't realize how unhealed they were. But you too were unhealed yourself. So you both were drawn to each other for certain reasons that were maybe unknown at the time. But then since your time with them, and again, this goes for partnerships, opposite sex partnerships and relationships as well, they were upset back when, because you were the main character then, you were like pizza that everybody has, a desire for or an interest in. And then they put you through certain things since then, different negative things, hoping that it would make you as moldy as them and, turn people off from you, turn the opposite sex off from you, turn other friendships off from you, even though everybody likes pizza, trying to turn you away from pizza, right? Kind of like if somebody you really like pizza and they purposely constantly try to burn it so that maybe in hopes that if it's always served to you burnt, that then you won't like it anymore. I know the Lord's different and it's odd how he gives me his words and analogies, but this is what he's saying. That's what they were trying to do. But because you are aware of how good pizza really can be and is, therefore it didn't deter you. It just maybe turned you off of it for a little while, and you just went to go and find a different, person than that one that was making it in the first place, if that makes sense, right? So they're meaning what the root of it is their plan didn't work. Their plan was to try to sabotage you, to try to make you less of a main character, right? If that makes sense. And they thought that it was working, right? Because, and if it seemed as though it was, the only reason why maybe it was because you weren't walking closely with the Lord. But now that you are, and the Lord has healed you, like I speak about all this in the previous message, and again, I repeat, you need to listen to that first one for this one to fit and make sense. You are the main character again. So from their point of view, you've never stopped being the main character. You've never stopped being a desirable slice or piece of pizza, ever. They are mad today because they're like, well, 5 years ago, you were the main character. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20, 30, whatever years ago, you were the main character. All this, it made us jealous and angry back then. So I and we, because some of these were individuals and some of these were a group, did this to try to sabotage you and make you less of the main character. And because of your walk with the Lord and the Lord healing you and redeeming you, here you are now as the main character again. So these people are mad because they're seeing that it doesn't really matter what they do or anything like that, no matter how much mold that's on them that they try to transfer onto you, that before Jesus, you were a main character, and after Jesus, you're a main character. So in reality, they need to just understand, like the Lord was saying in the last message, that you're like pizza, where even when it's bad, it's still good, and even if it is bad, that once in a while time, for the most part, it is always usually good. So therefore, it is what it is. I don't know, but that's just how the Lord is trying to make it make sense to me. And I put it across to make it make sense to you. So I hope that makes sense. So if you're noticing that they're pressed today, the Lord is saying, yes, that's true, but they were also pressed back then. And that, they were jealous and insecure and unhealed in the past, and that they're also jealous and unhealed today, right? And so again, that's why you need to pray for them, is because there's only one master gardener that can heal them and prune off the mold and keep what's good and reflourish it, regrow it, and that's the Lord Jesus Christ. That's what he does. So pray that they come to know the Lord, because if they come to know the Lord, they too can have the moldy, toxic, sick, dirty parts, of them that's from their hurt and their unhealed parts be pruned off and cleaned up and trimmed up like yours were, right? So, yeah. So anyways, the Lord just wanted me to add this part as an extension off the last message. And because I'd already put it out, this is a part 2. So this part 2 message will only make sense if you check out the message before it with the similar title. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. Once again, I hope it finds what it needs to find. I hope it blesses you. Take care. God bless.